We're going from 0 to 60 with The Lion King, so let's get cracking! Hello all my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. And if you are new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castle Escapes and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We do unboxings and hauls, pins, box swaps, Disney news, Disney reviews, and more. So if that sounds fun to you, we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. So we are continuing our series from 0 to 60, which is our look at the films of Walt Disney Animation Studios in chronological order. We've started with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and we will end with the 60th film, Encanto. And today we are going to be talking about one of Disney's masterpieces, 1994's The Lion King. The Lion King takes place in the Pride Lands of Africa. It revolves around a young Simba, which in Swahili is a lion, and how he is going to take over as king of the Pride Lands from his father Mufasa one day. He is being taught by his father every day different lessons in which he can learn. But Mufasa had a brother named Scar who had his eye on the reins and a vision of power. And one day he finds a way in which he can manipulate Simba. He traps Simba in a cavern where he starts a stampede of wildebeests. Mufasa goes to rescue him and starts falling off of the cliff. Scar looks like he's going to rescue his brother, but instead throws his brother into the stampede of wildebeests, and Mufasa dies. He then convinces Simba that he was at fault for killing his father, and he told his young nephew to flee. Simba went way out of the Pride Lands. He finds two friends that named Timon, the meerkat, and Pumbaa, the warthog, who have a simple philosophy of life, and that's Hakuna Matata, no worries. And they get Simba to kind of forget all of his worries about his dad's passing and leaving the Pride Lands. Well, one day, Nala, who was the childhood playmate of Simba, comes to look for him and finds him and convinces him to go back, even though Simba is wary of it and feels like he does not deserve to be king because he killed his father. Well, he goes back, finds out the truth about his uncle Scar having been the real killer, and then the battle ensues for the kingdom of the Pride Lands, and the rest is history. The Lion King actually was the first full story of a Disney animated feature that was not a retelling of a previously told story. It was originally conceived on a plane ride during an Oliver and Company press tour. Jeffrey Katzenberg, Roy O. Disney, and Thomas Schumacher were talking about a film that would be set in Africa. And Jeffrey Katzenberg was very interested in this idea. He saw a story about coming of age and death and things like that, threw in some elements of his own life, and then the production began. Now, while this was not based on previously told stories, there are some elements from the Bible, Moses and Joseph, as well as William Shakespeare's Hamlet, that were kind of intertwined into the writing of the story. As development began, the story actually was going to be about lions versus baboons. And Scar was kind of the king of the baboons, and they were warring over the Pride Lands. And what happened was, in this story, Timon and Pumbaa were Simba's best friends from childhood. And instead of Simba running away from home, he would be this kind of like slovenly, like really horrible person. And then Scar uses that to manipulate him and gain power. And so they scrapped that, and it went through a lot of different rewrites until it came to what it is today. Tim Rice, who had worked with Alan Menken on the music for Aladdin, was invited to be part of this project, providing that he could find a writing partner. Alan Menken was out of pocket. He was working on Pocahontas with Stephen Schwartz. And so Tim Rice suggested Elton John. Now, he had originally wanted, believe it or not, ABBA to write with him. But because one of the guys from ABBA was indisposed, he could not work on the project. So they went with Elton John. Can you imagine this movie without Elton John in it? It's such iconic music, The Circle of Life, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I just can't wait to be king. I mean, such great music and such great integration of African sounds. Not saying that could be done without Elton John, but I just can't imagine it today without Elton John. But speaking of people who are not African working on a film about Africa, one of my biggest disappointments is that they did not hire a lot of African American actors to be part of the film. Now, James Earl Jones obviously is an amazing actor, but he's really the only one who I can think of. I mean, you've got Matthew Broderick, you've got Jeremy Irons, you've got Nathan Lane and Ernie Sabella, all of whom are not African actors. And the same thing happened with Aladdin, where there weren't a lot of Middle Eastern actors in that either. They were working on Pocahontas and The Lion King at the same time, even though Pocahontas came out later. It actually had a lot of interest by the top animators at Disney, and so a lot of people went to go work on that film, leaving kind of the pit crew for The Lion King. Andres Delgado did animate Scar, but a lot of the animation went to the newly developed theme park in Walt Disney World, Disney MGM Studios as it was at the time. It was actually a working animation studio, and at that time they were like slowly handing over little bits of animation so that people could watch the animators animating in the fishbowl. So about 20 minutes of the film actually did come from Disney MGM Studios. To get the lifelike looks of the animals, Disney animators studied animals. They went to go to Kenya to study the animals there. They went to zoos, and they even brought animals in just to look at them. Computers were also brought in to help ease the process of animation. For instance, the wildebeests, those were all 3D animated, and so they were increasingly using computer animation into their films at this point. The film opened to incredible critical review as well as box office success. It was actually the highest grossing film of 1994. It was the highest grossing animated film at the time, as well as the highest grossing Disney animated film at the time. So it was very successful in the box office. Critics were just praising the music, the story, the characters, just everything about it. I often forget how much I really enjoy The Lion King. When I sat down to watch the film in order to record this video, I was kind of like, I'm not feeling watching The Lion King. But then when I watched it, I was like, I was crying. I was, I was, like I was a mess. I loved it. I laughed. I cried. Most of all, I cared. And it was just such a great experience. Like, I really highly suggest people dust off their copies of The Lion King or find it over on Disney Plus and take a watch of it, because it is actually a very good film. The animation is beautiful. The music is wonderful. I just don't really have any complaints about the film. What do you guys think of The Lion King? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I can't imagine anybody hating this film, but maybe you do. Let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to know your thoughts. Otherwise, if you enjoyed yourself, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below. Visit our website at www.castlescapesandclothes.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you later. Bye!